Hey y'all. Okay, no new recipe tonight. So if you're here for a new recipe, I'll go ahead and tell you that we're not having a new recipe. We're going to make something simple and we're going to talk a little bit. I have a few questions for y'all. I want your feedback. But in the meantime, we are going to make a fried bologna sandwich. Do y'all love fried bologna sandwiches? I do. I've not had one and I could not tell you how long. It reminds me just years ago, and I have a little story I want to tell you too about it that has to do with Braden. But I have been cleaning in his room today all day. Y'all know how they do. They take what they want and they leave what they don't want, but they don't want you to throw it away. So he's got games in there, DVDs and stuff just strode everywhere. And so I just been trying to organize, and I'm going to get a tote. I meant to went and got one today, but I didn't. I'll get one tomorrow. That I'm just going to place all of that stuff in. And that way he'll have it, but it will be cleaned up from in there, because his room has a front window where the sun shines in really well, which I need for my plants in the wintertime, like plants that I can keep and they can get good sun in there. So I thought, I'm going to turn this one little area here. I'll show y'all one day, but like I said, it's a front window and the afternoon sun just beams down. And I've already, the blinds, I've took them down. I've took everything down, so I got the sun coming in. And that's just perfect for winter plants, because I don't have anywhere else in the house where that works the way that our house is set up for the sunlight. I'm putting this Band-Aid on my finger. I don't have an injury here. I'm going to tell you what happened. I have broke my fingernail like way down here, like way down. Y'all know why? Because I have let these go entirely too long. I should have already been back at the salon and got them redone, but I didn't. So I'm putting this Band-Aid on here. I've been keeping a Band-Aid on here, so that way I don't hang it and break it off, because it's way down in. These are my real nails. I just get the gel polish, and it's really thick. So that's about the only thing that is holding that nail on there right now, y'all, and I do not want it to break off. So I want to go and get them just redone and have them trim them down. Obviously, I want them trimmed down. They're getting too long. And they can either, put the polish back over it to help keep it together till it grows out, or sometimes they'll kind of glue it for you. But anyway, it's just way too down in there to break off, and I don't want it to. So I'm keeping this Band-Aid on there because that helps give it that stability or whatever. All right, hang on a second. I think our skillet's getting hot over here. I just put a little bit of oil in here. Now, y'all, with my bologna sandwiches, I like to do the thin bologna, or my fried bologna. I like to do the thin bologna. I'm using just this. I don't want to turn this up. I'm afraid it's got juice in it. This Oscar Mayer bologna. I don't like to do, if I'm frying it, I would rather have the thin and not the thick, because I like to use two pieces, and I like to get it both pieces really good and crispy. Y'all know what I mean? And do y'all cut yours like this? Just cut these little slits in it, because I think I've cut too many in this, but I wasn't paying attention. Anyway, you cut these little slits in it, because if not, it wants to fold up on you. So I've got two little thin pieces here. I'm going to put my skillet. Ooh, yeah, it was getting hot. And I put just enough oil in there to coat the bottom of the pan a little bit. Turn it down. And I like for it to just get good and crispy. Put this back over here. And that's how I like it. So I do two pieces of bologna, and then on mine I like to do two pieces of cheese if I do two pieces of bologna, and then I like to do mustard on it. And that's it. I don't toast my bread. I know some people toast their bread for it. I just like to put that hot bologna on there, and then I feel like it heats up the bread a little bit and makes it good and warm and soft. So that's how I like it. I don't toast mine. And I went ahead and bought some fresh bread tonight. I was afraid that the bread that I had maybe wasn't going to be too fresh. And so when you want a good sandwich, you want good bread. You know what I mean? So anyway, let me tell y'all this story real quick, and then we'll get to my little questions that I have for y'all. So when Braden was in kindergarten, I think it was like a little thing that they were doing for Mother's Day, where the teacher was making up like this little like a little book or pamphlet or whatever you would call it to give for Mother's Day. Well, there were pictures in there, and there was poems and, you know, drawings and colorings and all of that. Well, you got to the back page, and it was like a little questionnaire that the teacher would give the kids about their mom. And, not sure it's okay. And, you know, when Braden was little, he was a very, very picky eater. Very picky. I mean, chicken nuggets, macaroni and cheese, mashed potatoes, pork chop, hot dogs, grilled cheese, he loved fried bologna sandwiches. I mean, he was just very, very picky, the very basic, green beans. And so right before he went to kindergarten, I was home with him like that. I had Canaan in February, and so then I was home that whole summer with him before he went to kindergarten. And so, you know, we got to spend a lot of time together, and I wouldn't take nothing for it. And we did a lot of things. We colored, we did Play-Doh, just, I mean, you name it, we did it. So in the little questionnaire, it asked, what is something, let me say, how did they say it? What is something that your mom does for you that you love so much? And y'all know what he said? He said, she makes me the best fried bologna sandwiches. And y'all, I cooked back then the way I cook now. And I just thought, oh my gosh, out of everything that I cook, he has said that. I thought, I guess she thinks I'm just terrible. You know, but it's just funny because kids just say stuff, you know. And then another question was, what is your mom really good at? And you hope that you can be that one day or whatever. And he said, she colors in the lines so good. I hope I can color in the lines like she does one day. And it was just so cute that those little things is what he bragged about. And I'm like, what about all this slaving I did over the stove? You know, they don't care about that. They like just the little things, you know, and that's like, that shows you right there. Because for lunch every single day when I was at home with him, it was a grilled cheese, fried bologna sandwich, hot dog, chicken nuggets. I mean, every single day. I don't know how he still eats any of that stuff to this day, because that's all he would eat. I mean, you have to give them whatever they will eat. And that's just how he was. Maybe a little thing of macaroni and cheese or something, but he was picky. So anyway, every time I make me a fried bologna, I think about that, reading, and I still have that little thing that he brought me home. But I think about it every time I make fried bologna. It's just funny that out of everything, that's just what he said, you know. So anyway, what I wanted to ask y'all, and listen, I'm always very transparent with y'all, and I want y'all to do the same for me. I want you to be honest here. And this is for my friends and followers that hang in there with me and watch consistently. I know that there are those that kind of come along that will make snarky or ugly comments. I'm not talking about them, y'all. That does not bother me in the least, and that is not the reason why I'm asking you. I'm asking you this just out of my own curiosity, just for myself, okay? So don't think that these people bother me, because they certainly do not. I've got thick skin. I've been through a lot in my life. It takes a lot more than that. So, for example, like last night, I did the chicken Alfredo. And when I make something like that, like I said in the video, I did mention it in the video, when I make something like that, I season my pasta water, and I put several different seasons in that. When I drain my pasta, I rinse it in cold water, and then I season it really good again. So my point is, both of those things right there, just those two, that's just an example. That's not needed for the recipe. You know what I'm saying? You can make it without doing that, and it'll still be good. Those are just little extra things that I like to do. You know, I'm just all about adding extra flavor and just doing a little this, doing a little that. So my question to you is, when I'm doing a recipe like that, would you rather me just show the basic recipe and leave that stuff out because it's not actually necessary in the recipe, or do you want me to tell you about that and tell you all the things that I added in my pasta water? Do you want me to tell you all the things that I seasoned my pasta with? Do you want me to tell you all these little things that I do off camera? Because it's just extra things that I like to do for my food. Just because like I said, when I'm cooking it for us to eat. So I do it like I would do if I wasn't doing a video, you know. I just may not show all of it, but I'm doing it just like I would do just for us to eat, okay? So I just want to know, would you rather, because I mean, it would really take some time out of the video if I just went, you know, did the basic recipe and said, okay, you boil 12 ounces of noodles, you drain them, and then, you know, you put it together and leave all that other little extra stuff out. And in other recipes, it may be different things that I do. It's not necessarily always that about the pasta, but just different things that I will do. Y'all know, I'll tell you all the time, it's a little something extra. I like to do this, I like to do that, you know. So I just want your feedback about if you want to, and you don't, even if you that doesn't mean you have to do that, but I feel like it gives you the idea if you have the time and maybe you would want to or want to try it. So that's why I even bring it up. But if you would rather just see the simple recipe, then I want to know that. I mean, I'm good either way. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I'm going to make it the same either way, but I don't have to video all of that or tell you all about it, basically. I can just do it and then go on. Which, like I said again, I know there's a lot of trolls out there. They just troll and they just try to find a video or somebody and try to talk down and just act ugly. I get that. I don't even worry about that in the least. It's almost comical sometimes, some of the things that they will say. And then there are just really hateful, like, you know, self-righteous people that think that they should be able to boss you around and tell you what you should do in your own kitchen. I've never seen nothing like it, but it's there. That's just the way it is. I realized that after I didn't know that until I started this, how some people were. You know, they feel just entitled, and I've just never seen nothing like it. But anyway, and even other content creators, like, they will troll other people's pages and maybe not engage or whatever, but then they'll go and they'll almost do the same thing on their page. And I'm not even talking about mine. I'm talking about, there's this one lady that I love to follow and watch, and then there's somebody else that will almost do her same dish the next day or the next after she does it. And I'm just like, why? Just be yourself. Do your own thing. I'm always going to be myself. Whether I show you the whole recipe or whether I leave some out, I'm always going to be myself. I'm always going to do it the way I like to do it. I'm always going to, like I said, be honest with you. If I found this recipe, I'm going to tell you. if I come up with this little idea, I'm going to tell you. I'm always going to be transparent. That's just who I am. That's how I am. And I'm never going to pretend to be something that I'm not, okay? And so when I see like these people that do that, I'm like, why? Just be yourself. Do your own thing. What works for one person may not work for you. You know, do you. You do you. And so anyway, I just want y'all's feedback. I want to know if y'all want the little extras or if you would rather just you know, say the recipe in general. But I think our bologna is about done here. Y'all let me know. Again, no hard feelings. I respect everybody's, I'm one of those that I'm not going to get mad if somebody says one certain thing or not. I got this, I had a little bit of bread over here, but I was afraid it wasn't going to still be good and fresh. And I thought I wanted some good fresh bread for this bologna sandwich that I hadn't had in so long, y'all. So I just bought me a new loaf. And then I bought me some tomatoes because since I bought that whole thing of bologna, if I have a bologna sandwich without frying it, I like to have a tomato on it. And what's crazy is let me get my plate over here. Or let me do it on a paper towel and then I'll put it on my plate. Whenever I do a fried bologna sandwich, I'm going to get this down here. When I do it fried, I like to do cheese and mustard. That's all I like on it. But if I do it just not fried, just a regular bologna sandwich, I'll do mayo and tomato. Isn't that strange? I don't like tomato if it has mustard on it. If I do tomato, I want it to have mayo. And yes, I'm putting 2 things of cheese because I got 2 things of bologna. I had to get me a new mustard. My other one was almost out, so I hope it don't come out crazy. I don't like it just saturated, but I do like a little bit. That did good. I don't know. I see it on top of my thing there. So what I like to do is, let's see, I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to go ahead and get this piece out. And like I said, the warmth of this will kind of soften up the bread. That's what I love about it. Now I'm going to put that on there, and then I'm going to layer our other piece on there. But you see how crispy it is, y'all? That's how I like it. And that's why I like to just do 2 pieces of the thin. And y'all, this is delicious to me. And a little sandwich like this, I don't cut it. Now, if I do a sandwich, you know, where I put all kinds of toppings and stuff on it, I like to cut it. But for this, I just like to do it just like that. And I do take the crust off. I don't eat the crust. I never have, and I still don't now. Y'all know I don't love bread, and so anyway, I'm gonna just let this sit here for just a second. I don't want to keep y'all. I know I've already been on here long enough, and just let this kind of melt the cheese a little bit. That heat will, and it'll kind of soften up the bread, and then I'll come back and we're gonna try it. All right, y'all. I've got my sandwich ready here. I have me some chips and a spoonful of dip. You know, I've told y'all the little saying that I used to do with my boys whenever I'd try to be eating good. They'd say, "Mama, you eating any of that macaroni and cheese?" And I'd say, "Yeah, just a spoonful." So as I was putting that dip on there, I could hear me saying, "Just a spoonful." It just turned into a little saying that we would do, and then it got to where they would say, "Mama, you gonna eat you a spoonful of that macaroni and cheese?" And I'd say, "Yes." It was most of the time macaroni and cheese because they loved it, and I'd be trying to cut my carbs, you know, and I'd say, "Well, I'm gonna eat a spoonful." I've already took my brown crust off of the outside. You can see that cheese is a little bit melted. This is my favorite, y'all. I love it. So good. Y'all know, sometimes the simplest things just hit the spot. I love this. I love having the two pieces and they're both good and crisp. I would rather do this than have a thick piece. I don't know why, I just would rather have two of the thin. Y'all, that's good. Now, a little bit of dip. Since I've only got a spoonful. Delicious, y'all. Y'all know how sometimes, like I said, the simplest things are the best. It don't always have to be a big, extravagant meal. I got my crust here. I'm going to throw in the garbage. Anyway, I'll cook us something tomorrow night. I don't know what yet, but I definitely will. That's usually what I do. If I don't cook one night, I definitely cook the next. Are y'all like that? Some nights you just want to take it easy, but I have been busy today. Anyway, thank y'all for hanging in there with me. I love y'all, and I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.